sa Roma 16:16, pagbatian kayo ng banal na hari, binabati kayo ng lahat ng Iglesia ni Cristo.
In Romans 16 verse 16, Paul is referring to the Romans, as he is talking to the Romans. The Romans is to whom Paul is referring for as churches of Christ, which means the bodies or the individuals that are the temple of Christ, as was written, any believers of God is the temple of God. This is about what Jesus had said. If you follow God, He will send to you in my name a Holy Spirit who dwells in your body, as the Spirit is the Spirit of truth, or Spirit of Jesus, as Jesus is the truth, so it is the Spirit of Jesus that dwells in every believers, as the Spirit of truth is the advocate or counselor. In original Bible it is counselor. This is referring to Isaiah 9 verse 6, the wonderful counselor, because the Christ, who was also Jesus, is the one of the said us in Genesis 3 verse 22. The said us here is the spirit and mind, the composition of God, the mind and the mind, whether be spoken or not, is word, and this is Jesus the Christ, which means the word from him. Surah 3 verse 45, John 1 verses 1 to 3, and 14. So do you know why Jesus was called firstborn? So in this Romans 16 verse 16, Paul is referring to the Roman Catholic Church, as this is also about what Peter had said in 1 Peter 2 verse 9. Peter is talking to the Romans here, as the Roman nations, this mainly referring to the Europe, the descendants of Esau, twin brother of Israel, for the promise, covenant, is first to the descendants of Isaac and second to the descendants of Ishmael. This was written both in Bible and Quran. So why will God, Allah, Jesus will give it to the Philippines or USA? When God, Allah, and Jesus said, I have a lost sheep, who are not in my pen, he is referring to the descendants of Abraham, so God referring to the pen, church, which he built to Abraham. But when Jesus said, God will call them his people, who are not his people, this is also referring to the lost sheep, which is about the sons and daughters of God. All human is a sons and daughters of God. This Romans 16 verse 16 cannot be referred to the cult of the MANALOS, also known as IONCM, as was cited in Acts 20 verses 27 to 31, as here Paul talking to the Romans. Paul declared the Romans, mainly the European, the descendants of Esau, as the overseers and or shepherds of the flocks or children, believers, of God. And here in verses 29 to 30, Paul prophesied that after he leave, which means after he died, referring to Acts 20 verse 38, a savage wolf will come in among you, and it will oppress or will kill the members as well as the leaders or servants of God and Jesus. And this is referring to the Islamic Muslims who turn away from the true religion built by Jesus to Muhammad, which is Muhammadism, Christianity, or Christianity, as was cited both in Bible and Quran, as they conquered the Christian nations. And Paul also referring to the sects or cult, mainly the IONCM. Paul said, even from among your number, RCC, men will arise and distort the truth in order to draw away the believers of God and Jesus from RCC and to join their sects or cults, as they will even harm or kill the Catholics.